In this day and age, it is very likely that you'll encounter another player that is hostile to pretty much everyone if you're playing video games online. And even if they're not cursing through their badly set up microphones, it is likely that they're not the most friendly kind of player you want to be around. Most players will just use any kind of edge they can find, ranging from a simple oversight by the developers or unbalanced game mechanics to sometimes game-breaking bugs. This also includes certain playstyles in games that normally don't even condone such actions. This is very obvious in most of the mainstream arcade racing games, where many players will just use other cars as braking cushions for the next turn, or simply go out of their way to crash into other drivers, even when overtaking them. As an example, this video clip of the multiplayer in Need for Speed The Run. As I had joined the session during the race before, the game had started me on the first place in this race, and I was able to hold my position, up until the right turn up ahead. The second driver was just 0.7 seconds behind me, and I knew that when I would slow down for the curve, he would use me as a braking cushion. And this will happen in the run in pretty much every lobby, as the community is really small and has been since its release. This is however not just happening in a few games. For example, I've spent a larger amount of time in the multiplayer of Race Driver Grid. While cars could receive damage from crashes that would change performance and handling, most players didn't care if they would ram into you just so they wouldn't have to brake as much. It is not surprising then that this also happened during my time with the first speedster of the crew, the upcoming always online open world racer. After the first few races I was left alone in an open lobby, waiting for another player to race against, and I hope I'm saying his or her name right. Diogoisf joined. Expecting nothing else than the usual, I prepared myself for a race where I would be crashed into at the first available moment. The first race was pretty uneventful. I made some mistakes, he or she overtook me, and he or she made some mistakes and I overtook him or her. The same for the second race, however ending in a really close finish. I was expecting the third race to go pretty much the same and was thankful for such a nice opponent. And up until a bridge, everything was going just as before. I crossed the bridge just a few meters ahead of him or her, but in the curve after it, he or she actually crashed into me during my power slide, which in turn sent me spinning and coming to a stand. When I got back on the road, something surprising happened. He or she actually stopped and waited for me up ahead. That never happened to me before, not once in all of the hours of playing racing games online. Instead of seizing the opportunity to win the race easily, while I would have struggled to close the gap, this player decided to fix his or her mistake and provide me with a fair chance to also win the race. And from that moment on, this was probably the best race I've ever had in an online racing game. This sort of respect and sense of honor is something you see rarely in today's online communities, where people go out of their way to annoy or straight out be the worst kind of player to others. Such a small moment fills me with joy. Sadly, I wasn't able to return the favor as he or she left the lobby just after this race. I am against aggressive behavior in the real and digital world and try to be as fair as I can in this ocean of unfairness and at times strong hostility. This will forever stay with me as one of my favorite moments in gaming, and I hope that just as Diogoisf showed me fairness when I didn't expect it, I can do the same for other players in any game. Diogoisf, you're the real MVP, and I wish you just the best out there in the digital and real world. Let's just hope you live up to all this praise I'm giving you. My name is Jack, and this has been one of my favorite moments in gaming. Thanks for watching.